peaceful out here. What's going on, people? So, let me adjust this camera real quick. I'll wait for some people to jump on here. I've been quiet for a few days as far as videos go. Um, Obviously, a lot has gone on since the verdict of the Chauvin trial, and I didn't really know what to say on that day, so I just kind of waited. And then, obviously, we've had at least two more shootings that I'm aware of, and we're declining as a country. We're, you know, as the world around us changes, the perspective that I have changes quite a bit, and I've shifted gears a little bit. That's why I've been kind of out here just chilling, just reflecting a little bit and thinking about stuff and the best way to move forward. Sometimes people are like, Mike, I love your rants, but what are your solutions? Well, I have a solution, and though it may not be practical or realistic, it's a solution that I think could actually work. I think it makes the most sense. I think it's the only thing that could come to fruition, especially if more people were on board with it. But I'm going to wait for a few people to join because I know it's early and notifications don't always go out. But yeah, hope everybody's doing good out there. Hope if you're living in an area that's locked down, that you're doing everything you can to reverse that. If you can move now, I would move. I mean, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't move right now. But we got some people watching right now. Okay, perfect. So here's my solution. Here's the short and skinny to what I think. I think that we need to split into two different societies. We need a left society and a right society. Now, I know I say all the time, like, it's not about left or right, it's wrong and right, it's good and evil, all that good stuff. That's still very much true. It is good versus evil. But as it relates to society and just the way that we are living right now, we're in two separate realities. We live in two separate realities. You've got, take this most recent police shooting in Ohio, right? Half the country thinks that's racist police brutality, and the other half of the country thinks that that was law enforcement doing their job and they saved someone's life and they should be recognized and celebrated for it. You've got half the country that is scared to death of a virus, wearing two masks, walking around, living in fear, and then you got the other half that's just completely unfazed by it, living their lives as they normally did. But we can't coexist this way. It's just impossible. Half the country thinks that we're moving forward and we made progress the other day, but they also think the country's systemically racist. The other half of the country thinks that although America's not perfect, it has its flaws, this is the best damn country in the history of human civilization, and we need to preserve it as such. We need to make it the bastion of hope and liberty and freedom in the world that people cross oceans to get to, right? This is what half the country, obviously I'm on that half, believes. And I don't think those two things can coexist, not for long. I mean, the proof is the way society is now, right now. Society is declining, it's decaying. Half the country thinks America's moving backwards. I think it's moving backwards. When you have people pushing for segregation, I saw in New York a bunch of people standing on tables shouting at white people saying, you guys need to pack it up and leave. You need to get out. You're not welcome here. This is stuff that happened back in the day when my parents were growing up, and is being brought back now. When you think about this Chauvin trial, the case, you guys know I told you that I was not emotionally invested in the outcome of that trial. I did not really care. I was more concerned about the ramifications the outcome of the trial would have on Minneapolis, a place I used to live, and I am emotionally connected to. I was more concerned about the way that it would have a ripple effect across society. I was concerned about riots, more so than the outcome of the trial. But what's so clear, what's so abundantly clear, is they do not care about justice. It is not about justice. It's about revenge. It's about a revolution. It's ongoing. You saw them shift the goalposts immediately after the trial. Immediately. They said, this is not justice, right? This is not justice. there's more to do. It's because they don't care about Chauvin. They don't care about Floyd. They never cared about George Floyd. They saw him as a martyr. They saw him as a change agent, a Trojan horse, if you will, in order to push through a radical reshaping of the country, changing institutions, changing laws, changing all kinds of structural pillars that keep society intact. And because everything's so political now, we can't agree. We can't agree on anything. Things that we would normally agree on 5, 10 years ago are now partisan. They're partisan. They're political. Everything's political now. Everything. The police shooting in Ohio, that is a political shooting now. If you're a liberal, you think it was an instance of racist police brutality. If you are a conservative, you think of it as, wow, that was an officer that intervened as someone was about to get knifed. He shot her. He saved a life, and that he did his job. What else could he have done in that situation? So you see what I'm saying? That's so drastically different. Whereas before, maybe 15 years ago, I don't know however many years ago, everyone would have agreed, like, you know, that was actually, he did the right thing in that situation. And it's gotten so bad that people, even though it goes against their conventional wisdom, it goes against their intuition, because they're part of a political tribe, they know that shooting was justified. I mean, if you just look at the video of it, it looks like, wow, he did the right thing because a life was saved, right? If someone thinks that, can they actually say it out loud? Even especially if you're a blue check mark, if you're somebody that's, you have an opinion of consequence, you have a big following, like a LeBron James. If you have that kind of following and you think like, dang, that was justified, but I can't say it because I'll be ousted. That's how bad it's gotten. The dissent can't be tolerated on one side. I mean, just think about it. Like, we have parallel economies forming right now. You saw I went to that Conservative Grounds coffee shop. We have politicized corporations. We're so divided as a country that it feels like there's really no turning back. I feel like the America that I grew up in is not going to be returning ever. I don't think America will ever be the same after everything we just went through and everything we continue to go through. This is ongoing. This isn't just some like, well, the Chauvin trial is over, we could breathe a sigh of relief. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. They've already told you this. The COVID situation. Do you really think that they plan to end mask mandates? Do you really think that they're not going to continue down this path? I mean, that virus isn't going anywhere, and guess what? Neither is the next virus. So the way that they responded to this is the way that they want to respond to all of them. Why would they change it? Right? I mean, look where I'm at right now. This is Florida. Trees, freedom, sunshine, fresh air. This is why I moved here. I moved here for the fresh air and the sunshine. But now I'm staying because of the freedom, because of the values. And I only personally want to live around people who share my values. That sounds kind of bigoted, but it is what it is. I want to be around people who share my values. I don't care what color they are. I don't care who they worship, who they sleep with, as long as they want to leave me alone, as long as they don't want to raise my taxes. And if they believe in law and order, and if they care about this country and preserving freedom, low taxes, liberty, law and order, then those are my kind of people. That's my tribe. If we have to be in some kind of tribe, that's the tribe I want to be in. I don't want to be a part of a tribe that the sky is always falling. I'm always upset. Everything is racist all the time, everywhere. Nothing is perfect. Everything's terrible. We need to reshape, restructure. No justice, no peace. We got to make our voices heard by ruining other people's lives. I don't want anything to do with it. I want no parts of it. So we're already fractured. Geographically, we're fractured. I mean, you got red states that are drastically different from blue states. You got inner city, drastically different from rural. You've got almost no overlap in the two separate realities that people are living in. There is almost no difference. When people couldn't agree, most people actually agreed at first with the George Floyd video, when it was just a video. Almost every person I know that's a conservative watched that and they were horrified. It's a horrifying video to watch. If you have humanity, if you have compassion, that was horrifying to watch, right? But they divided us on it. We became divided. It's like, well, it's a racist killing. It's police brutality. It's systemic racism. And then the wedge was driven from there, and it just continued on and on and on. And now everybody on the left, I feel like, is just complaining about everything, right? You've got LeBron James putting out hits on people. He put a hit on the officer, right? He put out a tweet with the guy's photo saying, "You're next." How's that any different from Maxine Waters? That's no different from Maxine Waters. He didn't outright say it, but the writing was on the wall. That was a dog whistle. Putting that guy's face online because he thinks that is more important than someone almost getting murdered. He thinks that girl needs justice. Like, Ma'Khia Bryant needs justice because she was wrongfully shot as she was trying to knife someone. That is a drastically different worldview perspective than the other half of the country. There's no overlap anymore. That's why I say, even if it's not practical, even if it's not realistic, we might need to split into two. I don't know how it would work, but because red states are scattered, blue states are scattered, but if there was a way to divide the country geographically, all the liberals and leftists get on one side and conservatives on the other, that would be the most practical way. Split the country right down the middle, north and south, right along the Mississippi River or something. I don't know. Like I said, it's just, I understand it's probably wishful thinking, but in reality, shouldn't the left get everything they want? Why should we fight them anymore? Why should I care if Portland wants to defund the police? Why should I care that buildings are burning in Portland? Why should I care when the people there voted for it? Yeah, it sucks. Innocent people will be casualties, but they should be able to move. They should leave. Go to an area where they support your values, where it's going to be safe, clean, free. Why not do it? Right? Like, we should just let the left have their utopian society. Let them have it. Let them have everything that they want. Let them defund the police. Let them take away guns, free housing, free health care, universal basic income, free college, all the things. Planned Parenthoods everywhere, all celebrities, all blue check marks, Patrice Cullors, LeBron James, they should all go live in those areas. Go live in that area. If white people are hunting you down, go live in a black area. Go live where it's your people, if that's what you truly believe. Or you could just live in your leftist utopia. Go live in a leftist utopia and segregate. And you can have racial equity. You can confiscate wealth. You can do all of those things. And won't society be perfect? You can stop using fossil fuels. You can have wind and solar energy. And you could police speech. You could criminalize it. You could crack down. Why not do it? Why not do it? And then conservatives can have what they want. And we can just see, which society thrives. Not as a contest, just, hey, you do your experiment and we'll continue doing what we've always done. Right? Because the thing about conservative values is they're consistent. They're consistent. The left's values, they change direction like the wind. They used to agree with conservatives on a lot of things. Gay marriage being one of them, border control being one of them, or a border wall. Maybe not border wall, but having secure borders. There's a lot of things that both the left and the right could agree on, and they could have bipartisan support, and our government function. Now our government is corrupt to the core. Our justice system bends towards mob rule. They understand how to get things done. To their credit, they have an effective strategy to get what they want. They use threats, intimidation, violence, corruption. They cheat, they lie. It's almost like another country if you go to some of these blue areas. Like I said in my live stream the other day, if I were to go to a city like Portland, I would be completely shell-shocked. I would feel like I'm in another country. I wouldn't know how to get around. I wouldn't know what to do because of the lawlessness, because of the chaos. But down here in Florida where I live now, this is as close to normal as I'm going to get in the US. And it's still not totally normal because there is at least half the population here in Florida that believes that I should be wearing a mask right now as I'm sitting alone in nature. They think I should have a mask on. They think I should get a vaccine. And they think that I should be afraid of law enforcement. They think I should join the cause to fight against systemic oppression. And I just don't think that this is a sustainable way to go forward as a country. That's pretty much all I had to say about it. I could obviously continue going on. There's so much as far as the police shootings, the Derek Chauvin case, the fighting of society, the fact that the left is so emboldened now that they have their hands on the levers of power, that they're aggressively pushing forward with their agenda. Critical race theory, that's another thing. Children are being taught to hate. It starts with the education. So in my scenario, right, where we split into two societies, split into two countries, the USA and the USSA, they can have their own socialist, utopian infrastructure, society, whatever you want to call it. Education. They can have their public education. They can indoctrinate kids. I'm sorry, it sucks. I hate to say it, but let them do what they're going to do. Because if people don't like it, they can move their kids to another area. In a conservative area, you can have a patriotic doctrine taught in public education, or you can have private school, you can homeschool. It's your choice. But no critical race theory, no indoctrination, no propaganda, no climate change narrative, none of the nonsense. And let them live the way that they want to live over there. That's the way I see it. So I don't know what you guys think, but that would be my ultimate solution to some of our biggest problems right now. That's just what I think. We have to be able to do it. And thank you to the super chatter so far. If you're wondering where I'm at, this is New Smyrna Beach. This is a new area I just discovered over here. It's like a little private picnic area. I'm actually surprised nobody's here yet. That's why I decided to fire up the live stream. It'd be kind of awkward if there was just a stranger sitting next to me. I mean, just think about it, man. Like, look at the way that Florida is being run. We have a governor that's leading the way at every single turn. He signed the anti-riot bill, and now other states are following suit. He took a stand against vaccine passports, and other states started taking the stand against vaccine passports. He's leading the way. So if other states are following suit, they should just join, form their own union, preserve the Constitution. The left can do whatever they want in their states. They can follow the lead of Newsom, Cuomo, whoever they want. I mean, look at their cities. Look at their cities. Look at the cities in liberal states, in blue states. Taxes are high. Crime is high. Homelessness rates are through the roof. Drug addicts. Like, nobody can afford to live there. And if you can't afford to live there, it's not safe unless you're really, really wealthy and you live in a gated community. See, they want to defund the police. They want to abolish law enforcement. But if you can afford it, you're going to have your own private security detail. And this Black Lives Matter thing, it's like, let them have their own society, man. Let them do it. They can bring down all the statues they want. They can enact all of their radical change. Law enforcement's the problem. It's not black people killing each other. It's the fact that that cop killed the black girl. Think about that. Think about where we come as a society. LeBron James feels so passionate about this girl in Ohio that got shot by the cop, but he does not care that she was about to kill someone with a knife. It's unbelievable. A 7-year-old gunned down in a McDonald's drive-thru, radio silence. Nobody talks about it. Nobody cares because it doesn't fit a narrative. It doesn't help them drive through their Marxist agenda. If you can't blame a white person for it, if you can't blame systemic racism, if you can't blame America's institutions then what's the point? They don't care. You know, as much as I want to just continue railing against the BLM narrative, what's the point? If people can't see what it is with their own two eyes, what good is my video going to do? If you can't actually see what's happening on your own, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's so obvious. Everything BLM stands for goes against black people. You defund the police, that's going to hurt black people. You want gun control? That hurts black people. Criminals thrive if they can get guns and commit crimes against law-abiding citizens who aren't allowed to own guns, and there's no law enforcement for them to call. Planned Parenthood. That means you don't want black babies to be born. I mean, think about that. Think about that for a second. Think about how they prop up all of these, they prop up some of the worst people. Like the lowest common denominator. Criminals. Criminals. Black people that commit crimes are on TV as though other black people should look at them as like we see ourselves in them. Like, oh, I see myself in George Floyd. No, I don't. Like, this is crazy to me. That half the country believes that shooting in Ohio was not justified based on the fact that she had a knife and she was charging at someone. Look at how they treat the criminals when someone resists arrest, and I'm not saying that all of the shootings are justified, but when someone is shot to death by police and the media talks about it, they sensationalize the headline, of course. They'll show pictures of the person when they were 20 years younger, show them smiling, show their graduation photo. Like, oh, here's what's her name, Ma'Khia Bryant. Here she is at 7 years old eating ice cream with her cousin. Obviously, that means she's not a bad person, right? Her mom, she was an honor roll student. Okay, she was an honor roll student, so obviously that can't mean that she tried to murder somebody with a knife on camera. You know it's bad when the average citizen has learned how to gaslight you. The media is effective at gaslighting you, but now average citizens are trying to gaslight you. Like, I know you saw a video of her trying to stab somebody, but she was only a teenager. She's an honor roll student. Really? That's what we're supposed to take away from the video? Is that, well, she was 16 and an honor roll student. She was a sweetheart otherwise. Society's fractured, man. We're split. We don't see eye to eye. There's no overlap in what we believe. We have completely polar opposite worldviews, which is why I've been saying, like, this is spiritual warfare. Down is up is down. Satan is inverting reality. That once you think bad is good, good is bad. So let the left have their own society. They can have drag queen story hour. They can have CNN broadcast at all grocery stores. Everybody can wear 10 masks. No cops, just pure utopia. No guns, no fossil fuels. Only Democrats allowed. No dissenting opinions allowed. It could just be perfect, happy, utopian harmony. Let them have it. Let them defund police. If something goes wrong in their society, let them burn all the businesses they want. If those businesses don't like it, they can move to a conservative area. They can immigrate. They can flee. They can be refugees. Come over, but do it legally. I mean it. I'm serious. Why can't we split into two countries? At this point, because I don't see any way going back. I don't see it happening. On their side, they can have universal mail-in ballots. They can have no ID. Nobody has to show ID ever. Everything can be free. Everything could just be peachy and perfect. And then on our side, we'll have law and order. We'll have structure. We'll have places where you can go and worship, places where you can go and be free. You can open carry. You can speak your mind anywhere you go. You don't have to cover your face. You don't have to live in fear. You have right to your property. Taxes will be low. We can go less on the taxes. We can have voluntary, community funds. You pay into this fund and we'll build a park. And if you paid, you can use the park. If not, that's fine too. I mean, this is like pragmatic. I think it's pragmatic. I don't know how realistic it is, but I think it's pragmatic. I think it could happen given the right circumstances. Let the other side just have lawlessness. They can have Desmond is Amazing on TV. They can have Drag Queen Story Hour. They can have Cardi B and Lil Nas X be seen as role models. They can have all the people that agree with them, all Hollywood, they can all live together without police. And let's see how that society works. They can have Joe Biden as their president. They can have Dr. Fauci. They can build a statue of Fauci in their city center, their central business district. They can erect statues of Fauci and Mao and Che Guevara, whoever they want. I'm halfway joking, but I'm kind of serious because there are people who take this moral high ground, but also wear Che Guevara t-shirts. Think about how many people in Hollywood thought that Hugo Chavez had the right idea, and America should build its model off of what he did in Venezuela. Think about that, man. Two different realities. That's all I had to say. That is pretty much it. I want to enjoy this view out here and then I'll wrap it up. But I probably will have more to say later today. See, the beach, the freedom, this is what I want. This is what I want. And if you share these values, move to Florida. Just register Republican, plan to vote red on your way in. Someone said just coming in, I'm talking about how we can and should split into two different societies. We don't need to live in the same society with people that think America's systemically racist, or that believe we should trust Fauci and CDC and live the rest of our lives in fear. Because make no mistake about it, COVID's not going anywhere. So the restrictions in place to slow the spread of COVID will not go anywhere. Viruses don't just vanish because you put on masks and take a vaccine. That's not how it works. They're going to make this permanent. Their goal is to continue down this path as they continue to cripple the country. So why not, do some damage control and split it off right now? Let them have their own side, everything they want, and then the other side can have constitution and freedom. That's what I think. But I just feel like what good is it to try to constantly convince people what is happening? Convince them that what they're seeing is real, instead of what the media is telling you. It's not real, fiery, but mostly peaceful. That was a racist police brutality attack. It wasn't him saving a black person from getting knifed to death. Right? Why not just let them do their own thing? We do our own thing. That's what I think. Media propaganda, somebody said. Yeah. All the propaganda. It's constant. It's around the clock. And if you're a cop watching this, why are you still doing your job? Call their bluff. Call their bluff. I think there should be 100% blue flu in these areas. You want to defund the police? Okay. You hate cops, all cops are bastards, no cop should show up. And then next time, the left, whoever's running whatever city, they can send in a compassionate counselor. That's what they should have done in Columbus. They should have sent in a compassionate counselor. Right? Because all cops are racist and evil. Call their bluff. See how they like it. And no, I'm not some back the blue guy. I told you guys this, right? I respect law enforcement. I understand their role in society. I believe in law and order, but I'm not going to worship them. I'm not going to be like, back the blue no matter what, because that's the state. That's the state. And in blue areas, they're enforcing COVID restrictions. They're arresting people for not wearing masks. Some of them, yes, are blind order takers. That's the reality. If you're a cop, your job is to enforce laws, even if the laws are unjust. That's why I said I would make a terrible cop, because I would be guided by my moral principles. I would be guided by what's right and wrong, not what I'm told to do. I would do what's right regardless of what I'm told to do. So for that reason, I'm not a back the blue guy, but I still respect law enforcement. I think that they're human beings. Behind the badge in uniform, they're human beings. But you got these moral high ground virtue signalers, these Marxists that are demonizing the men and women in law enforcement that keep the community safe, that arrest human traffickers, that administer, first aid. They do a lot of good in society, and I understand that, and I understand the role, but I also understand it's a slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope because, like I said, if you live in a blue area, they're going to wield the power of law enforcement against you. It'll become tyrannical really quick. But if you live in a red area and you have respect for your law enforcement, it's law and order is the law of the land, and you have responsible leadership, then it actually works out much better. But in these leftist areas, they're trying to combine defund the police and gun control. How is that going to work? How is that going to work? What does that do to black people? Again, if you're just joining me, everything BLM stands for goes against black lives. Everything. Go down the list. They believe in abortion. So they don't want black babies born. Defund the police means there's no cops there to break up the gang fights and the gang shooting and arrest the drug dealers and all of that stuff. And then gun control means that the law-abiding citizens can't defend themselves. They support all these uprisings like Maxine Waters. Get more confrontational. How do you get more confrontational than murdering people and burning down buildings? Destroying businesses in black areas where people rely on that stuff. They rely on those businesses. They rely on the grocery stores and the drug stores and everything else in that area. I mean, Jesus, like, I don't know, man. I could just keep talking in circles on this. Go to their website. They're opposed to the nuclear family structure. It's all about like black queer liberation and feminism. It's not about the nuclear family. The only time a straight black male would matter to BLM is if they're dead. Think about that. They only care about straight black men if they were killed by white people, because then they can be used to push forward their cultural Marxist agenda. Think about it. To my knowledge, George Floyd was a straight black man. I don't know anything about George Floyd as far as his political views. I don't know anything about what he thought, but I'm willing to bet that there was probably something he believed that went against the BLM narrative. I mean, automatically, him being a straight black man, I think he had a girlfriend, right? That would be against them. They would not support him. But because he's dead and because white cop was involved, he's useful. He's useful. Think about how sick and satanic it is that they've used that man. They used him. And no, I'm not justifying anything he did while he's alive. No. But think about how they're thanking him for sacrificing his life. They're telling you what he was used for. Like, thank you. They were so enthusiastic. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She thanked him for dying. Thank you for sacrificing your life. His own girlfriend thanked him. His own girlfriend thanked him for sacrificing his life. That is insane. But they have no problem saying the quiet parts out loud. A black life is only useful if it was taken by a white person or a cop so they can continue pushing forward with their agenda. That is a fact. That is a fact. You saw it in the Ohio case, the Ohio shooting. They don't care that that girl was about to get stabbed by the girl that got shot. They don't care, because all they saw was a white cop got out and shot the girl in the back. That's the most clear-cut example of how black lives don't matter to Black Lives Matter. Thank you for the super chat, Tao. I appreciate it. Someone said they have no place. I'm sorry, Tal. Let me read this real quick. I love your work. Unfortunately, I feel there's no place for me in the dim Republican Party after Trump. Where do we go next? You might be right. I think I am right. I don't want to sound like some like narcissist or be all egotistical, but I think I am right. We cannot coexist. We cannot coexist as a country when we can't even see what just happened in Ohio for what it was. You can't see that. You can't see that what LeBron James did was wrong, what Maxine Waters did was wrong. You can't see that the justice system is bending towards mob rule. You can't see that threats, intimidation, and violence is how the left gets their agenda accomplished. Their ideas, their beliefs require force. They require manipulation. They require fear and control. That's why they don't want debate. That's why they want to shut down speech. They don't want people like me talking. They don't want what I just said to go viral. They don't want people talking. They don't want debate. They don't want dialogue because their ideas would be eviscerated in a debate. They control people through emotions, fear, irrationality, propaganda, sensational headlines, fake news. I mean, think about how many people you might know, I know plenty, that basically everything they believe is a lie. Right? Everything that they believe to be true, let's just say over the past couple years, all of the storylines that they believe are lies. Lies. Complete lies. They probably still believe the Russia collusion story. They probably believe Trump said good people on both sides, even though there were actual good people on both sides. Let me say something about that. Let me go on a quick little tangent about that. When Trump said that there were good people on both sides, what he meant was there are good people on both sides of the debate about why that statue should or shouldn't have been taken down. And he said specifically, he wasn't talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists and the KKK or whoever else because they should be condemned totally. But the left had a problem with that because they don't think that we're good people. They don't think there are good people on both sides of any given debate. They think if you don't agree with them, it's because you're evil. They think you're evil if you don't share their worldview. So think about somebody that watched nothing but mainstream news over the last 5 years. If that's all they watch, if that's all they watch were CBS, 60 Minutes, Meet the Press, NBC Nightly News, if they watched all of those shows and if they just watched CNN, they would be in a completely different reality from you. Like, my gosh, that's just crazy to me. And it didn't used to be like this. America wasn't always like this. Like I said, half the country thinks America's moving forward. The other half thinks it's moving backwards. I just don't think we can coexist. I don't think we can coexist. I don't see it happening. I mean, I've changed my tune a little bit from the beginning of the year, and that's because things have changed. I mean, and then look at people like Greg Gutfeld. Greg Gutfeld said the quiet part out loud the other day, that even though Chauvin may not have been guilty of all the crimes he was convicted of, he's happy that he was convicted because now his neighborhood will be safe. And then you got people saying like, you don't understand the sarcasm. Imagine not, I saw Jack Posobiec tweet this. He's like, imagine not getting the sarcasm of what Greg Gutfeld said. I'm sorry. If millions of people didn't get that you were being sarcastic, that's on you. That's on you. If millions of people didn't see that you were being sarcastic, that means it fell flat. That means it was poorly timed. That means it was a bad take. I mean, come on, man. It's weak. It's that kind of weak-minded people that won't stand for anything and they just submit. Just give the left what they want. Just shut up and agree. That's why we are where we are. And instead of fighting them, Let's just separate. I never thought that I would reach the point where I'm actually calling for segregation along ideological lines, not racial lines. I know some people, haters, they're probably watching right now. They're in the chat. I know. You hear me saying some stuff that's going to make you call me an Uncle Tom or a sellout, but you can't say I'm wrong. I'm saying we need people to segregate based on ideology, based on values. Why not hang out and live around people who share your values? Support businesses that share your values. Go on social media that share your values. Someone said, somebody get this man. What do you mean get this man? I would love for you to come on and debate me. Anybody that wants to debate me, you can email me. I always extend that offer, and nobody ever takes me up. Email me, MikeNificent813@gmail.com. Let's do a live debate. Let's have a discussion. If somebody's going to sit here and watch me, the very least you could do is back up whatever it is that you think. But instead, what I often get are personal attacks, insults, ad hominems. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Come at me. Let's debate. Let's have a discussion. We'll do it live on my channel. Nobody ever takes me up. I'm challenging somebody. Email me right now, MikeNificent813@gmail.com. Let's have a discussion. I'm happy to debate any of these topics, and we'll have a discussion. And that's the way that I wanted things to be, right? Is people come together to have discussions. Remember the first, what was it, back in January? I had a liberal on my channel because he emailed me and said, hey, I want to debate you on X, Y, and Z. Now, even though I destroyed him in that debate, my goal wasn't to try to humiliate him or embarrass him. I thought, you know what? Maybe at the very least, he'll come away understanding my perspective. I understand his perspective. It's all love. It's all respect. But that's the way that things should be. But they're not that way. It should be that people debate. You have productive dialogue and discussion. And the best ideas win. The best ideas will rise to the top. But no, we live in a society now where if you don't toe the line of what these Marxists believe, then you get called all of these names. They try to tune you out. They want to tar and feather you, if not cast you out of society completely. Yeah, they don't like discussion because they're afraid. They're afraid. How's that saying go? It's like when you silence a man or when you rip out a man's tongue, it's not because he's wrong, it's because you fear what he might say. I mean, that's why I said their ideas require force. They require manipulation. They require fear. Why do you think they prey on children? Because it's easy to manipulate a child. Why do you think that they want to, push all this critical race theory? Because it's easy to program children. You could tell kids Santa Claus is real, the Easter Bunny. Some kids think they can fly. You could tell kids anything. You can brainwash the youth. Show me in history where brainwashing kids was on the right side of history. Show me. Just tell me. Give me one example where brainwashing kids was on the right side of history. I don't think they can do it. So if you just want to be a moron in the chat and not come on and debate these topics about why they are pushing all this garbage, indoctrinating kids, because that's what their agenda requires. If you explain the left's policies to anybody, if you thoroughly explain, hey, here's what it would look like, here's how it sounds good, right? But in practicality, in reality, here's how it ends up. They will reject it. Now, if you thoroughly explain, all right, here's how freedom works. Here's how, if you have this and do this, and if you stack your money and do this and do that, here's how you can ascend the economic ladder. What are they going to choose? That's why the left has to use free stuff. We're going to give you free college. Think about the language they use. They call everything free. because they think that the people that they're talking to are stupid, right? Because it's not free. Nothing's free. You get what you earn in this world. There's no such thing as free healthcare and free education. It's taxpayer funded, which means somebody has to pay for it, which means somebody's working. And if all these celebrities and rich people like LeBron James buy into all these left-wing causes, why don't they just redistribute their wealth themselves? Why do we need government policy to redistribute wealth? Why can't they do it themselves? Why can't they practice what they preach? Why can't LeBron James practice what he preaches? Move to the blackest area right now, LeBron James. If you're being hunted down, if black people are being hunted down, go start your own black-owned city where it's nothing but black people, no cops, no crime. It's perfect harmony. Go move to Atlanta. Go move to Southside Chicago, East Oakland. Go move there. Patrice Cullors won't do it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said the other day, man. Vote with your wallet. Support businesses that share your values. I know I'm going a step further. I wish more people would talk about this. We need to separate. I think that's the only solution to the problems, because it's not going to get any better. It's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. And continue to pray, obviously. Continue to pray. You know, God is with us. This is spiritual warfare. The devil is busy trying to capture souls. Segregate. Maybe, see, this is the thing. Florida would be the perfect place to start some kind of conservative, I won't call it utopia. It'd be my version of it on Earth, right? It'd be at least practical. Florida, surrounded mostly by water. We only border 2 states, so it'd be easy to control the intake of people if we were our own country. I talked about this maybe a month ago. I said, you know, what if all these states, what if each state was its own country? Which states would thrive and which ones wouldn't? Not just based on if it's blue or red, but, you know, resources, if they have fresh water. What about agriculture? Things like that. Climate. Infrastructure. That's what I'm saying. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, whoever just said, what is this guy talking about? You can watch the beginning of the stream. I just said we can't go on like this because people on the left want to control the other half of the country. It's all about destroying the country. And many people can't see it. It's like the boiling frog theory. Hold on. I'm trying to read some of these comments. Hold up. I don't know who that was because I got a bigger audience right now. I should maybe start doing live streams early in the morning. So I know it's early. What time is it right now? It's 11:51 where I am, almost noon. But what I'm talking about is separate. I think we should give the left everything that they want. I just want to opt out. I don't want to be anywhere near. I want to be across the country. Let the left abolish, get rid of all cops. The left should get rid of every law enforcement officer, get rid of every gun, no more fossil fuels, free healthcare, free housing, free education, everything. Get rid of all conservatives, all Republicans, move them all out of your area. And then things will be perfect, right? Right? You can have racial equity. Things can actually be perfect. Nobody's in the way, right? Let them have it. And if they don't get their way, they can burn their own cities down. But keep it away from me. Keep it away from me. And then for people who are undecided, they can take a look around and see, like, where do you want to live? Where do you want to live? The other thing I talked about in this stream, if you just tuned in, is how Black Lives Matter, their whole agenda is anti-black. How does defund the police and strict gun laws bode in the black community? Look at Chicago. Look at Baltimore. Strict gun laws in those cities. High murder rates. Let them have a Planned Parenthood on every street corner, since Oprah Winfrey told you to shout your abortion, and healthcare is just like going to the dentist. It's just, abortion is just healthcare. Let them have Planned Parenthoods on every corner in black cities with no guns and no cops, and give them free everything and all of that good stuff. Right? I'm just saying. Why not? Why not? Why not let the left have everything that they want, everything that they complain about, everything they talk about, and all the people who are used as megaphones on Twitter, the blue check marks, why don't they move to those areas? And they can just raise all the taxes and do all of that stuff, and let's see how that works out. Let's see how it works. But that's it. That's all I got to say. I'm going to read a few comments and then I'm out. I'm out. Let's see. Let me go to live chat here. Someone said, I'm going to recommend you to someone else who I think would like your channel. Please do. Please do. And if you're here from the Salty Crackers channel, God bless you. Thank you for supporting. He gave me a shout out, I believe, last night. Appreciate that guy. Somebody that tells it like it is. Because the reality is, we're not divided by race or anything else. We're divided by beliefs, values, worldview. If your worldview is that everything sucks, everything's racist, we don't have much in common. But if you think America's pretty great, not perfect, but the best place on earth, then you're my kind of person. I just want to be left the hell alone. I just want to live my best life. I don't want the government telling me how to live. I don't want high taxes. I think that law enforcement serves a valuable purpose in society, keeps it safe. Are they perfect? No, because they're human beings. Humans aren't perfect, so how can law enforcement be perfect? Should we have reform? Absolutely we should. Should we remove unjust laws from the system? Yeah. But that doesn't mean I'm just some gung-ho, like, back the blue all day long. No. I'm just saying, man. Can you see how, wait a minute, someone said something. Can you see how arguments of white supremacy are arguments for white supremacy? Yeah. Nobody believes in white supremacy more than white Marxist people on the left. Who shouts white supremacy the loudest? It's white people on the left. They think that they're supreme. They think about that. Think about that for a second. The people always crying about white supremacy believe it. How can it exist without you believing it? Black people that shout about white supremacy obviously think that they're inferior to white people. I'm your equal. I'm sorry. I'm a taxpayer just like you. I bleed red just like you. I'm not making it out of here alive just like you. There's nothing about you that makes you superior to me. Even if you think that in your mind, you're allowed to think it, but I have no control over what you think. So why would I stress about it? Why would I worry about it? You can think you're superior to me, but you're not. And because there's nothing I can do to control that or change that, live and let live. That's the way I see it. It's like, you can't control what someone else thinks. The left wants to they want to try to control what someone else thinks. But yeah, people that argue white supremacy believe in it more than anybody else. A white person that would come over to me right now and try to sell me my own oppression, like, you're black, you're not allowed to think that. Your skin color dictates that these are your beliefs on this little index card. Everything here, these bullet points, this is what you believe based on your skin color. You're inferior. That's what a white leftist would tell me. They literally, in the most literal sense, a white person who believes in white supremacy is what you would call a white supremacist. They think that they are superior. That's why they treat minorities like pet projects, that they have to do something like, I got to help them out. I got to help them out. I mean, Malcolm X talked about this too. The white liberal. I call them Marxists now because that's what it is. It's Marxism. Yeah, the people that cry about white supremacy the most either have a superiority complex or an inferiority complex, depending on what color skin you are, while you're complaining about white supremacy. I don't talk about it. I don't acknowledge it because I don't think anybody is superior to me. And that's the reality. They're not. You know, there's a lot of people that complain. They think like, white people moved here. They conquered America. They genocided the native-born people or whatever, and they're on top. They dominate society. They dictate. All these institutions hold up their whiteness. Okay, let's play that game for a second. You mean to tell me that if, let's say, black people did the same thing, and let's say black people were a majority in the country, assuming that what they just said is true, right? If black people were the majority of the country, and all the institutions supposedly held up black supremacy, how many black people would be looking to change that? Would they? I'm just saying, that's just something to think about. Assuming that what they're saying is true and they believe that, are they really mad about that, or do they just wish it was them in the case, in the situation? That's what I'm saying. And again, for the haters in the chat, for the people that want to name call, email me. Let's debate, talk about it. Otherwise, get out of my stream. Go watch The View. Isn't The View on right now? Go watch some leftist garbage. Go find somebody that reinforces what you already believe. If you think I'm wrong, email me right now. Let's have a debate about it. I'm itching for it. I would love to do it live. The truth bears no scrutiny, and I will happily debate you. Happily. Thank you, DM, for putting my email in the chat. Let's see how many of these trolls in the chat will actually do it. Let's see if they will. I doubt they will, because they never do. For the past 3 years, when somebody gets in my chat and starts talking that nonsense, I tell them to email me and let's have a debate, and they never do. They never do. Let's see if they do it. I would love to have a discussion. I would love to educate you. The truth bears no scrutiny. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. And see, the thing is, I want to have a good, clean debate. No ad hominem attacks, no insults, no personal attacks. When you attack me personally, that just means that you can't debate. That just means you don't have any way to refute my arguments. So you just attack me. That's how that works. I might have to start coming to this spot more often, y'all. I might have to do this on the daily. Coming to the beach like this, it's therapeutic. It's cleansing. It's nature. Get out in nature. Stop believing in this stupid artificial man-made reality, this stupid government can solve all your problems. The state. More racism. Some people are just so obsessed with the color of their skin, it's borderline. It's unhealthy. We know that. It's unhealthy. It just is. You didn't choose to be the color you are, so why are you wearing it with pride? Like, is that the only thing that's important about you? Like, it's so weird. Not everybody that looks like you is for you, and not everybody that doesn't look like you is against you. People can't put stock into their reality, what they see and what they hear. They only put stock into what they're being told by the news. And what they're showing on the news makes it seem like black people are just innocently walking along, just hanging out, and then here come 2 cops to just shoot them dead. Right, because every cop wakes up every morning and they're like, how can I kill someone on camera? Because my life won't end after that. How you doing? Beautiful day out here, isn't it?
It's great. It's great.
I guess that's my cue. Someone said, dude, we are twins. Maybe we share a mind. I don't know. Maybe we share a mind. But I'm just saying this, man. Like, this whole like racial garbage nonsense, are there still problems? Yeah, but the problems could be drilled down to individuals that have hate in their heart. People that have hate in their heart will manifest, and you could call it racism, sexism, homophobia, Islamophobia, whatever you want to call it, but it represents the darkness in your own heart, and that's a problem you got to deal with God. That's not emblematic of some society that raised you to hate somebody. And just imagine, man, thinking that, like I said, we're living in two different realities. Half of the country thinks that law enforcement cops wake up each morning saying, I hope I encounter a black person today because I will kill them, even though I have body cam footage that's going to, put me in I don't know what I'm trying to say. Even though body cam footage would incriminate me, I still want to kill somebody on camera because I'll get to go home and just chill. Nowadays, look at what's happening. Look at what happened in Ohio. Even if it is completely justified, even if it makes sense, they're like, no, you should have let that girl stab that other black girl because black on black crime is fine. We're cool with it. That's them telling you. That's their worldview. That's their perspective. Just let black on black crime persist. Just let them keep doing what they're doing, but don't you dare enforce that law. Well, now what? Now cops aren't going to enforce laws. Maybe they won't. I don't know. If I were a cop personally, I'd be like thinking twice. Like, I don't know about this because if I do the right thing, I'll get called a racist. I'll get put on trial, and then Maxine Waters will come out and call for my head and, threaten the jury, and then I'll get convicted. Even though 5 minutes ago, most Americans would agree, like, yeah, he did the right thing saving that girl's life. They would rather see black on black crime skyrocket than see laws enforced. That's why the cities that defunded the police saw a skyrocket in crime. It's not just Minneapolis, it's Portland, Seattle. Just let the left have what they want, man. Give them their autonomous zones. Give them everything that they want. Everything that their hearts desire, let them have it. Let them have it. I'm done complaining about it. I'm done trying to fight it. I don't live in those areas, so I don't have to deal with it, honestly. I mean, it sucks for the innocent people that live there. They got to deal with it, but what can I do? What power do I have to change it? I really don't. So it's not in my area. Let them have their utopian society wherever they're at. And that can just be it. So, yeah, man. That's pretty much all I got to say. I've said everything I got to say. I guess it's time for me to walk down by the beach here. I think it'll get a little too windy, so I'll probably have to end this live stream. But I may go live later today. I may do it. Because there's more to talk about. And honestly, I'm waiting to see if anybody in the chat is actually going to email me to have a debate. Let's have a discussion. Maybe your mind will be changed. Maybe it won't. But at the very least, you won't be able to hide behind a keyboard anymore. Show your face and debate me. Or shut up and get off my live stream. Those are your two options. Email me to debate me or shut up and get off my live stream. You don't have a third choice. You can hide behind a keyboard all you want, but you'll just be a coward in my eyes. Someone said the KKK did not disband. They've just been rebranded as Antifa. It's still white people that cover their faces and terrorize black neighborhoods. You still got people living in alternative realities. I mean, think about it, man. I could just go on and on. They call Ben Shapiro a freaking a Nazi. Ben Shapiro's an anti-Semitic Nazi, and Candace Owens gets called a white supremacist. Jordan Peterson gets called a white supremacist. Satan inverts reality. Down is up, good is bad. All that good stuff. So let them have their drag queen story hour, Planned Parenthood on every corner, no cops, no guns, free everything, and let Lil Nas X and Cardi B be the role models in society. And they can just take down statues of George Washington, replace them with Mao Zedong, and go from there. And I think on that note, you guys, look at this. I can't keep talking. I can't. I got to go out in there and regroup, refocus. But I'm shutting this down. God bless you all. Thanks for listening to my rant. I think we should split in two as a country, split into two countries. Have people who hate America on one side and they can have everything they want, and people who love it on the other. That's the only way forward that I see, even though it may not be practical or realistic. I think it's a solution, and because I feel like there's no way to turn back. Maybe that's what we do going forward. I don't know. But God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks to everybody that is a new subscriber. If you came over from Salty Cracker or from Right Side Broadcasting, God bless you. Thanks for the super chatters. Thanks for the moderators. Trolls, email me, MikeNificent813 @gmail.com. I'll catch you in the next stream.